The Alrick Mackenzie Show starts right now.
My name is Kinshasia Johnson. Heartbreaking, lonely, inspiring, and motivating are some of the words that I would use to describe my experience as a teenage mother.
The Alrick Show, inspiration, motivation, one vision, hope to a new generation. Together we can live and learn. Yes, we're one family on the Alrick Show.
Her family, friends, and others close to her had high hopes for her future, but she got pregnant at age 14. And to add to the situation, she is the daughter of a deacon. Kinshasia Johnson is here with us on the Alrick Show. Hi, Kinshasia.
Pleased to meet you.
All right, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Let's talk about your name, Kinshasia. What's the origin?
It's African. It's the capital of the Republic of Congo in Africa, which was formerly known as Zaire.
Okay, have you been to Congo yet?
Not yet, not yet.
All right, cool. Right, all right, so how do you recall your young years growing up with your family? Tell me about those years.
I would say it was a mixture of good and bad feelings growing up. My dad is a deacon, so certain things he didn't really go into.
Such as what?
Sexual education, he didn't touch that topic at all. So I was always book smart, but never street smart.
Why would he not talk about sex?
I would say it's because of his religion. He just did not go towards sex at all. He didn't tell me about boys. He didn't talk to me about sex. None of the above.
You got pregnant at what age?
I got pregnant when I was 14 years old.
At what age you started to have a boyfriend?
Say about the same 14. The same 14. It's a lot to the story because I actually got raped when I was 14. So because of that, that was my very first sexual encounter. And I was dating this guy at the time. He was young, he was my age. And in order to cover it up, because I didn't want to tell my family that I got raped, I had sex with him because it would seem as if that was my first sexual encounter. So it so happened that they found out, and when they found out, it was a big family issue, but I didn't tell them that I got raped.
All right, let's go back to the top. You said you were raped. What happened? How it happened?
It was a family friend who, of course, as a youngster, you trust family friends. So it happened one night when I went to the shop. I went to buy something, but based on where I was living, I lived inside of the community, and the food shop, the restaurant, was actually out by the road. So he came, it was raining, it began raining when I got to the food shop. So he came and he said that my family sent him with an umbrella to come for me. So of course it's a family friend, so that's the last thing that would come to mind. So I followed him. When we were going back, he said that he's going to pick up something at his friend's house before he goes back to my house.
So that's a walk from the shop towards the house, okay?
Yes. Now of course the rain is pouring, I have no umbrella, I had no other option. So I went, and it was when I got there I realized that the motive was ultimately different.
What was going through your mind in that moment?
At that time, the only thing I could ask myself was, why me? That's all I could ask, because I was so busy trying to get out of the situation. But that was all I could ask myself, why me?
Did you try talking to him, saying, don't do this, stop, or what?
Yes, I did, but that didn't work at all. It was as if he was deaf to what I was saying. And after that, I realized that you have some people who are sadistic. They find pleasure into inflicting pain on other people. So I figured more than likely that he's one of those type of people. And
how old was this guy?
he was like 29. He was about 29 at the time.
While going home now, so he left you to go home now. By the time the rain would have eased up?
No,
So
the
you
rain
did-
was still falling, but it was as if I wasn't actually feeling it. I was just walking home. And I remember when I got to the house, I was so frustrated. I just put down the money because I didn't get the food. That was the first thing, because what I went there to buy, I didn't get it. So I just put down the money and I walked around the house and I went outside to take a shower in the rain.
Okay. You took a shower. What would that shower do for you?
In my little mind at the time, it would help me to feel better. It was a form of
Cleansing.
yes. 1 minute. Oh my God. Can I get some fun, please?
Sure.
And a napkin.
While having that shower, what were you thinking? Were you even thinking anything?
I was wondering if I should tell my family, and if I would, how would I go about doing it? How would I break that conversation to my family? It was something that I really and truly didn't know how to do.
And that family friend, you were living with your mommy, your stepmom and dad, right?
I really and truly didn't know how to break that conversation to them. Didn't know how to do it. And it was about last year that I actually told them.
Last year, you would have been how old?
19.
19. So
I actually
5 years
told them.
after, you're able to tell the story. Now, going through the years and even seeing this guy the days after, what were you thinking?
Actually, after they found out that I had sex with the guy, I ended up
That should be your
moving.
boyfriend.
I ended up living with my mom. So I didn't live with my dad. I ended up living with my mom. So I didn't have to come in contact with him at all. Then my mom doesn't work, so she couldn't manage. So I ended up going to live with my sister. So I moved again.
All right, just before we get into the moving, when you told your family 5 years after, what was their reaction?
They were very much angry because they said, why didn't I tell them before? Because it was someone that they knew.
Why did you not tell them before though?
I could not find it in myself to tell them because there's a lot of stigma that is attached to being raped. And I didn't want to be walking on the road and people were like, oh, that's the girl that got raped. I couldn't deal with it. Mentally, I just felt as if I wasn't ready. So I didn't tell them at all.
Wow. We take a break. When we come back, Kinshasia tells us about being pregnant at age 14.
The Alrick Show.